Hello, everybody. Welcome to Road to Endgame, a Marvel movie podcast where every week we review 1-2 Marvel movies on the road to Avengers Endgame. Coming in April, we rate them out of 5. My name is Bronson, joined by Stephanie.
Hello.
And we are going to be rating Age of Ultron this week.
I want to first talk about this damn background.
This was the movie poster.
Why doesn't it show Ultron?
It does. There's an Ultron there and an Ultron there.
They're in the background. They're hella blurry. Okay, Age of Ultron. Ultron was like front and center for all of the trailers, but the movie poster, you can't spare a thought for him.
I mean, you would obviously rather stare at this bromance right here.
Honey, yes dear, don't lie to me ever again. The memes, the hardcore memes, especially because at the beginning of this movie, as it opens up, Stark swears and Captain America just spurts out language. And it becomes the joke of the entire movie.
So this was the only movie I hadn't seen prior to
you were a baby. You were a newborn foal when it comes to watching this movie.
And I feel like I didn't miss much. I liked it.
I mean, you missed a couple of things.
Okay, so here's the thing. I liked it a lot. I had a good time watching it. There are some moments as a fan that made me go, oh shit, Hulkbuster, that was super cool. Oh shit, X moment. That party scene, etc. But, as a moviegoer, and as really as, a writer, and, there's a lot of problems I have as a whole with the film.
The pacing for some of it was definitely, too slow.
Yeah, I feel like there's pacing issues. And I feel that
They run over a bunch of stuff, too, when they should explain it more. For once, they should have explained it more.
I feel like they were just... So, one of the big issues I have is, they're just cramming too much stuff in. Because, you have the Hydra cleanup from Winter Soldier. You have the reveal of the 2 new Hydra Avengers, Quicksilver and, what's her name?
Scarlet Witch. My favorite character.
Is she literally your favorite Avenger?
Yeah, she's my favorite Avenger.
Oh, okay then.
Other than Gamora.
Okay. Yeah, and then, so, you have Scarlet Witch, you're cramming that in, and then you have, all the inner beef of the Avengers themselves.
It's the beginning of the inner beef, though. It begins literally in this movie due to the fact that Stark has a very different viewpoint of safety and freedom than the Cap does.
Well, hold on. And then you also have the Vision thing, the creation of Vision, and then you also have Ultron himself. There's just so many different threads they're trying to start and weave and build, and, they kill one of them in this movie, literally.
That's the one thing I'm pissed about.
And, I just felt satisfied about very little of it.
I felt satisfied about a lot of it because, we didn't have to see any stupidity in dialogue or Dutch freaking angles with Thor for once.
Yeah, that was nice.
No Dutch angles, no Natalie Portman, no stupid lines of...
So, this movie actually I almost feel like it's Avengers, the first Avengers, but in reverse.
It's avenging that Thor movie.
Was this the first movie after Thor? No, this was 3 movies later.
Really?
Because, in order it goes Thor, and then you get Winter Soldier, and then you get Guardians, and then this.
Winter Soldier is I'm sorry for that movie, and then Guardians of the Galaxy was forget about this movie, and then this movie is, we'll make up for that movie. Now that you've forgotten about it, we'll just lightly touch upon some things and make sure that you forgive us.
Well, that's the one good thing about Thor Dark World is the fact that it doesn't have too much to follow up on. Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have looking at the roster as a whole, though, like my problem with the first Avengers was like the first act was kind of dry, and then the next two acts were fire as hell.
Oh, yes. The first act was kind of dry, but you're trying to catch up with everybody, which I understand. They didn't pace it well, like I said.
My problem with this is, like, the first two acts of this are pretty good. Like, they're really solid. The last act is kind of the problem.
Really? It's the first act for me.
The first act, you get that amazing intro sequence. Like, that is such where they're raiding the Hydra compound, and you're getting to see this is the Avengers working together after a bunch of experience working together.
And the twins clearly don't care about Hydra, they just want revenge on Stark.
Yeah, you're getting this very great action scene. You get the reveal of the twins, who they did a great job. You get, and then that's followed up by the party scene, which is honestly the best part of this whole damn movie. I would honestly watch an entire movie of the Avengers hanging out.
Right? No, not only that, but Cap almost picks up the hammer.
We'll get to that, because there's some serious, fan theory about that. But no, so you have this whole, so you have this big intro scene that they open very action-packed. In a big way of, the Avengers are working together. You get Hulk turning into the Hulk and doing what he does. Iron Man and Captain America are doing great. You get to see Captain America's suit enhanced by Iron Man's tech with the magnets on the shield.
Yes. He's starting to improve. He adapts. Iron Man seriously adapts.
In my opinion, this is the best version of all of the OG Avengers suits. That is the best Cap suit. That is the best Iron Man suit. That is the best Thor costume. So on and so forth.
Hulk's still looking Hulk.
Yeah. The only one that I actually would swap out is, I think, Black Widow's suit. The blue is dumb. You are a super spy. We're all black.
That is not
stealthy
at
all.
Yeah.
Just hiding up in the vents. What's that blue light?
Right.
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh my it's weird that it's kind of, what feels a little forced to me? The romance.
Oh, the
romance between her and Banner.
Especially because, Banner already had a love interest in the prior fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just want to forget about that movie, though, and move on with, new love interest.
Well,
but
it's because...
that's the Hulk we use. We didn't get a new Hulk introduction. We had to use the Edward Norton one, which wasn't that great. It was a 1 out of 5 for us, both of us. I wasn't on that review, but dear Lord, was that painful.
Also, that, because Universal still has the movie rights to Hulk, the standalone movies, Universal still has those rights. And unlike Sony, they're not willing to work with Disney to make a new one happen. So what Disney is doing to work around this, they're putting all of Hulk's character development in other movies. So they're putting it in Avengers and Age of Ultron, and then later Thor Ragnarok. That's why, a quarter of Thor Ragnarok is also Planet Hulk.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the costumes are really great other than Black Widow. They have that big action scene, the twins get revealed, and, Tony Stark gets the idea for Ultron. And he sets up, him and Banner work all night to be alright, hey, we're going to build this ultimate AI based on Jarvis that is all about saving the world. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Doot doot.
So they do the party scene, and you get the weird forced romance, which I agree with you on.
It's definitely weird because, why is she the only one that the Hulk trusts? We never get that background of, them having any sort of, heartfelt moments.
Just a little bit in the first
I mean,
Avengers.
even Captain America and her had, their moments, and you can see how they can maybe be a love interest story thing that can develop, but, definitely out of nowhere, Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo just getting it all.
She likes them weird boys like you.
Yeah, I do like them weird boys. I also like them weird girls.
Oh, fair enough. Would you like Scarlett Johansson?
No, I already told you. You can have her. I want the youngest Olsen sister. I want Scarlet Witch.
Fair enough. So yeah.
Or Kick-Ass. Or, like, I'll take both twins. Like...
You have fun with your three-way.
I'm good. That seems weird, seeing as how they play brother and sister in this.
So that finishes up, and then you have the party scene, which is one of the, like, you get to just see all these cool interactions. You get to War Machine, try and tell a story that Iron Man, and Captain America come in and just like, come on, man.
No, it's Thor.
Or no, like, War Machine was trying to tell a story. I think it was War Machine was trying to tell a story and be impressive, and then Thor or someone comes in and, like...
It's just like, oh, was that it?
Yeah. And then tell
It wasn't Captain America. Captain America is way, like, he likes being a good listener and everything, so he would have laughed or been impressed or whatever.
And then Iron Man and Thor have their whole, like, better girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I really enjoyed that. She's like, well, she's saving the world. Well, she is helping the world as well. Like, she's in charge of an entire company.
Well,
like with energy and blah blah blah.
Like all that, and then you have like just all these like small little interactions, and I would love to see an entire movie of just the Avengers just hanging out, especially now. Like, I would love to see Ant-Man at a party with all these people. Yeah.
I feel like him and Thor would get along well once Thor got some drunk in him.
I think that I actually think Ant-Man and the Hulk would get along.
Maybe. Wait, the Hulk or Bruce Banner?
Bruce Banner, sorry.
Because they are two different personalities.
Yeah, but I think Ant-Man and Bruce Banner would get along really well for some reason.
I feel like there'd be a weird friendship between Vision and him. Like, you don't like doors? I didn't have privacy for years. We're good, man.
I also think that, like, let me show you this magic. Yeah.
And, like, Vision's just like, whoa! like, we'll write the script. We just want it to happen so bad.
There's one thing I want to happen more than that, though. Once again, I want Luis from Ant-Man to recap.
I want this too. Go ahead.
To sum up every movie from Iron Man 1 to Captain Marvel, or the entire MCU timeline. So Captain America to Ant-Man and the Wasp, all summed up.
Mm-hmm. No, all the way to... Yeah, because it's Ant-Man and the Wasp and then Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Technically speaking, the timeline.
Timeline-wise, yeah.
Yeah. Not in release, but... Because they tried to be... they don't normally do origin stories.
Yeah, just Captain Marvel's a weird case.
Well, origin stories out of place.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of origin stories.
Plenty.
So I take that back. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
The only ones that were out of order were Captain America because, well, of who he is.
Right.
And then now Captain Marvel. Which was also, I'm telling you, they're setting up for a Nick Fury movie.
I would love that.
They're
getting so good at their CG.
Well, no, they're setting up for a Nick Fury movie. Here's why. He was half of Captain Marvel. And then he has a big part in Spider-Man. Like a huge part in the next Spider-Man.
Oh, he was also half of Civil War, or not Civil War. He was also half of Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, but like, and then also he's like,
or at least a good third of it.
And then like, he's gonna have some big part in Endgame, if not like a secret plan or something, like.
If he comes back.
Well, I mean, he does, because Far From Home ruined that.
I really hate that. That's one thing that I hate going into Endgame, is we kind of know who's going to end up, like, alive after that, at least a couple of people.
Well, we know 2 people, specifically, yes.
But those 2 people we cared very much about, and it was a very poor reveal.
This is the real question. They're gonna kill Tony or Captain America. They're gonna kill one. Who do you think bites it?
Tony.
I'm saying Cap.
As sad as that is, I think it's Tony. Like, I mean, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain, and honestly, he's going nuts throughout the entire series, like, more and more.
Yeah.
Like, he comes to terms in Infinity War. Like, he has it mostly together because of the third movie happening and then, like, Civil War happening. Like, he comes to terms with himself and the things around him, his control issues, his father issues. He comes to terms with a lot of issues, but at the same time, I don't think he's done being so unnerved that he just, like, he just, you know, he eats it.
Yeah, but like on the other side of that, I'm just like, I think one, because of who the new Spider-Man is, I think like Tony Stark being around is a little bit more of a necessity. And also, Chris Evans is way more done with this shit than Robert Downey Jr.
That's very true. Robert Downey Jr. loved every second of this. Chris Evans kind of misses those days when he could be freaking Johnny Flame.
Yeah, where he could put whipped cream on his nipples and dick and a plunger on his butt.
Yep. He misses the silly days. Now he's literally yelling out the word language in a movie.
Now he is probably...
He used to be sexy bad boy, and now he's all-American good boy.
Now he is literally the most, like...
He is dad. He is the dad of the group.
Yeah, which is... It's real funny that Ray has the Captain America hoodie and I have the Iron Man one.
Yeah, because you're still the playboy of the group, even though it's totally Ray. And and freaking Ray has the dad hoodie when you're the dad of the group.
Yeah, no. So, anyway.
You like who you like.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like them both a lot, but, anyway, so, we have the party scene and then Ultron breaks in. And you get the first reveal of Ultron, well, Hammer scene, sorry, I almost forgot. Sorry, we saw this movie a little while ago, and there's so many different pieces of it.
I like it. I like the way it's pieced together. It's slow paced, like in some parts, but I like it overall.
You have the Hammer scene, which at first, Iron Man can't do it, and he's just like, fine, Iron Man gets his suit. Nope. War Machine and Iron Man. Nope. Who else tries?
Oh, they asked Scarlet, and she's just like, oh, I can't lift that. Like, she is far from a good person.
Hulk tries like,
yeah, and he tries to scare them all, and everybody's just like, yeah, we're not falling for that. Also, why would you be so irresponsible in this moment in time? That's the look that he was being given. Like, you could read all of that in their faces without even saying anything.
And then you have Captain America do it, and you see it budge a little, and Thor's like...
Just the slightest bit, yeah. And then, that's when you hear Ultron, or whatever, right?
No, a little bit after that, because they're talking more.
They get interrupted somehow.
They get interrupted, but it's not that. Because Thor's brags after no one can move it.
Yeah. Well, no. He's just like, yeah, okay, cool.
I was just like...
talk about the theory.
So there are a couple of different theories rolling around about that. The first one is because of knowing the Civil War stuff is why he can't move it. That's the first one. The stuff he knows about Tony's parents and whatnot. The other theory is that he didn't move it because it would fuck Thor's pride up.
Honestly, it might have been a combination of things. He probably knew he could, but at the same time there was the Civil War stuff holding him back. So it could be a combination of the two. Both of them have holes in them, but if you combine the two, for me, in my mind, it works a lot better.
Yeah.
He could move it, but he also can't move it, in a sense.
Yeah,
Because he is still all-American boy, but he also knows about a murder.
Yeah, he also knows about a murder that he hasn't told, like, essentially one of his best friends about.
And he's, like, covering his other best friend.
Yeah, and then, like, and then there's also the fact that, there's also the fact that, like, just, we've seen him move it in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
Which, it would have been cool to see.
Well, a lot of things aren't going to be like the comics. I mean, for crying out loud, Groot comes from a species where you're able to talk as you grow up. Like, this is something that I forgot to bring up in the last video or last review, which was Groot in the comics. Groot comes from a species where it's a disease. It's like a tree disease, pretty much. It's what's the word? Immobilizing their vocal cords to where all they can say in the end is "I am Groot."
That's sad.
Yeah, like that is literally his origin. So we can't go off of like especially like watching Captain Marvel. We can't go off of the comics for any of these
because
things.
we'll get
also, also like a huge thing, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yep.
Quicksilver, thank you. Sorry, I suck at names, guys. Just note that in your minds now.
It's okay.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Yeah. In the comics, they're Magneto's kids.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
But
no, but we can't connect that.
Because X-Men rights.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, with that in mind, that's why we did. Like, that's why, like, when we come upon Civil War, we're going to talk about the lack of.
There's a lot to talk about Civil War.
There's a lot. There is a lot. There's some cool scenes, though. There's some super cool scenes. But, I mean, honestly, you just can't go off of the origin because not the origin. You just can't go off of the comics because the comics make it look so much better, and then it's an even worse movie. But like, we had the difference of that in Iron Man 3, and it was still a good movie. So they try to put their own twist on what they're lacking.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they put the Infinity Stones into play for the twins. That's how they get their powers instead of being mutants. They don't involve mutants really at all in this. And I really enjoy that it's more science-based or magic that's science unexplained, because that is my life right there, man. It's just magic is science unexplained.
Fair enough. So Ultron comes in and he explains that the Avengers are, more trouble than they're worth. And if we want peace on Earth, we need to fucking murder all humans.
He doesn't necessarily say that.
I mean, if he did say them, that exact phrasing would be funny.
It would be, but no. Like, because later in the movie, Scarlet Witch reveals his true intent, which is to destroy the world and reform it with robots.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily... Cave Johnson. We're done here. Okay, bye guys. No. That's how we're gonna end all the videos now.
Which goes back to my point of and they have this big climactic fight, and then they go. What happens next there? Then they go out
no, they try to see what the hell is what the hell, guys, and they were like, oh, that was kind of us.
Yeah.
And they find out that Jarvis is dead, and that that they were trying to save the world behind everybody's backs.
Yeah.
And that's what starts the rift in between all of them, because Tony's just like, I'm afraid of us, aren't you? And there are way more guys out there that are like us that aren't on our side. Wouldn't you want an army that can freaking fight on our side for itself? And they're just like, what the hell? You didn't consult us. We don't trust you. All this other good stuff.
Right. Which the thing is, though, is I don't think they execute on that well enough, especially because
no, that was one of the scenes where I think that they should have explored it a little bit more, but they just kind of passed over it.
Yeah, I don't think they execute well enough on that, because first off, Captain America, he's even after Winter Soldier, he's never been a real like, individualistic guy. Like, he's always been more for the team, not more for the group. So, like, he would like, in most circumstances, he would be down with a robot army for us.
Well, he's not okay with the fact that the AI would help monitor everybody.
Yeah, but, like...
That's the part where he's just like, okay, so we're going to be slaves to the system, and he's never been okay with that because it just reminds him of his Nazi upbringing!
Right.
Or rather, sorry, American upbringing, Nazi influences.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so you have that, which I don't think that scene's fleshed out enough. And then you have them chasing after Ultron, and then you have Ultron looking for vibranium to make an ultimate Ultron body.
And you reveal a Black Panther character.
Yeah, that dude comes back.
Yeah, we didn't even think of that. That's actually that was a super good cameo, in my opinion.
Well,
because he's so insignificant. Like, he's kind of quirky, but he's so insignificant that you don't realize it. Like, you almost have to rewatch this movie to be like, oh god, it's that guy! So, like, it's a movie you can come back to and appreciate some things.
He ends up being a major part of Black Panther.
Like, I would say a quarter of it.
He's like a third of the major villain.
He comes up in, he actually comes up in Civil War as well, in name.
Oh, right.
When they're trying to, like, pinpoint, like, weapon stuff and, like where the Winter Soldier got the weapon and all this other stuff.
Yeah, so...
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, Black Panther's in a couple weeks. I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to all the rest of it.
This is why you started this. This is why we started watching all the movies.
Yeah.
And now I'm a part of this, and I'm super glad. Thank you again.
Yeah, for sure. So no, it's been a lot of fun. But no, so then they go chasing after him. They have this big action scene where Ultron was really prepared for them. Vision influences, or not Vision, Scarlet Witch influences all their minds. By the way, I think Scarlet Witch should have been called Vision.
Right?
It makes so much more sense.
Well, Scarlet Witch... It just pertains, they couldn't change her completely, because, not only do her powers not come from being a mutant, but, I mean, she also, sorry, I was going somewhere with that, and then I heard your cat meow. My brain is mush.
I'm sorry, it just makes so much more sense.
It doesn't to me, because, you can only change so much about a character before you're like, who's this?
I mean, they could have just said it's an original character.
They could have, but they are trying to go for...
I'm kind of curious when they're going to do that. When
they haven't yet. They have their own unique twists on characters. But they... So far, I don't think that they've made up any characters.
I'm curious.
I like that, though. I don't want them to make up a character. I want them to keep personifying so many great aspects, so many great people from this franchise.
I don't know. I think that depending on the right franchise, I think you get a really cool original character.
Well, they did one heck of a job rebranding a lot of Thanos' kids.
Yeah, I think that, you want to know, it's a really good job. If we're talking about rebranding, you want to know what did an excellent job of rebranding Marvel characters? That new Spider-Man game. That is the best Doc Ock.
Yeah.
That is the best Doc Ock, and that is one of my favorite Peter Parkers.
Oh, okay.
My favorite Peter Parker is Peter B. Parker.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah. How is that not everyone's favorite Peter Parker?
But yeah, no, back to the movie though. So we start going through and they try to get a hold on the situation, and no, Scarlet Witch gets into Tony's head and he sees everybody dead because of him, and it kind of helps that drive in him to help ensure that everybody's going to be safe without them.
Right.
Or, at least be safe from themselves as well.
But,
he kind of goes Batman in that.
Everyone gets their own little personal nightmare, which I thought that was an interesting thing, or most people do. Except Hawkeye, because like, nah, I've been mind controlled. Fuck this.
Right? Yeah. Like I think they gave him a kindness by not having him mind controlled again.
And he even mentions it like, nah, I've been there before. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
And like you get that Hulkbuster fight, which that was so good.
It was
like that. You know, the fan service in this movie is still very on point. Like, it is still
that one scene. Do you remember that one scene that I'm thinking of with the Hulkbuster?
Which one?
Okay, so the one where he hits him and just goes, and like Hulk like spits out.
Oh yes, I was gonna mention that just now.
Looks back at Tony and Tony's just like, I'm sorry, and like Hulk just goes to town on him.
Like yeah, because that's when like the robotic arm is going just boom, 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 and it finally stops. And Hulk spits out too. He's like, I'm sorry.
Because like you don't want Hulk mad. Hulk is like already base mad. Okay, that's how he gets there. However, he freaking, if you think about it, when Hulk gets mad, that's when it's really scary.
Well, yeah, because he gets stronger. That's literally been determined. Him and Superman have actually fought in the comics.
Oh, nice.
Superman has won twice, and there's been a stalemate once.
Okay, so there's hope. So there's hope to beat that unbeatable bastard.
I mean, like, here's the thing about, like, we'll talk about Superman later. Anyway,
yes, I don't think that's appropriate in a Marvel review.
We're gonna do the DC ones eventually.
No, we are not.
Yeah, that'll be a fun...
That'll be a fun nightmare.
Yeah. Hey, they've been getting better.
They have. I need to see Aquaman, but, you know. So let's, so pressing on.
But yeah, the Hulkbuster fight is, like, from start to finish is super good. They keep that reveal, like, really wrapped up tight in the movie as a whole.
But anyway, it really villainizes the whole scene. The whole sequence is to villainize the Avengers, and it really does that, especially with the Hulk. You get to see it with the Hulk, like, you know, there were rumors going like, haven't we seen him before, you know, and then like referencing the Ed Norton movie. Now we've come full circle where the public sees him as this huge monster villain, and so they regroup. And it turns out, big reveal, Hawkeye has a family!
Yep.
And they just try to, you know, and the family aspect gives everyone perspective. Mm-hmm. And it gives Natasha and Bruce a way to connect more, because it's just like, I can't have children, I shouldn't have children, match made in heaven.
Fuck kids.
No, because, like, she's sad about it, and it's just, like, I love the purity of the fact that he's the monster, and she thinks that she's such a bad person that, like, she doesn't think she's worthy of him.
I think that's part of why they work, and why they're trying to sell that on.
No, it's awkward at first, but it starts working out throughout the movie. It's rushed, it's forced, but then they have moments to where you're just like, see, we could have had this in other movies to lead up to this romance
which
that they
I
have.
think that's so much of this movie is just like they're trying to push a bunch of stuff forward for future movies, and they fuck it up horribly.
I mean, I like the reveal of the twins as an extra scene in one of the previous movies.
That was Winter Soldier. Yep.
Thank you. And then I liked their debut, their whole thing, you know? Like, I feel like they fit into the whole grand scheme of things very well.
I think they were fine. They were one that, like, out of all the ones, that's the one that gets pulled off. That and the, like, setup for the Sokovia Accords in Civil War. How
lightly they touch upon the fact that Tony's starting to, like, really, like, drag himself away from the original Avengers vision. No pun intended.
I mean, I think he was showing that already, like, in every other movie.
Well, he's always been a wild card, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Billionaire, inventor, playboy, philanthropist.
Exactly.
I can't say that word, as you can see.
Yep.
But, yeah. So, what I don't like, though, is the fact that they brush over that one scene, which it's so important because it shows that the team is starting to get divided more and more. No, they've never been fully cohesive, but they've never had a rift.
But also, like, they haven't had a rift once they became the Avengers. And, like, at the beginning of the movie, they're about as cohesive as they've ever been. And then on top of all that, you have they rush over that, and then also during the end climax fight scene, they seem super cohesive and on point still.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
when it comes down to it, they're going to work together for the greater good. But when it comes down to the semantics of it, they all disagree.
Well, like, it's...
But when you have, like, a huge threat, like, a huge immediate threat, there's no time for semantics. And of course you're going to work together because ultimately you want what's best for the world, for your lives.
Well, exactly. And, I don't know. It's weird. It's really strange.
So Ultron keeps, so he takes, so they get into another fight. Ultron takes Scarlett Johansson hostage, and he reveals it's just like, I'm going to get a stronger and better body each time until, like, I can get in it, like, pretty much the best one possible, which is, like, turns out to be Vision's body in the end. But, like, yeah, no, he was going to get a humanoid body that would be impenetrable and all this other stuff.
And the Avengers go and try and, like, steal that.
Which they succeed eventually.
Yeah, they succeed. They blow the...
that was a good fight scene.
It was, with that truck. Like, that's the one you're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the one on the subway, it is, with Quicksilver, a subway or a train?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I didn't think it was bad, and I think there were several moments, like, especially
all of Ultron's quips.
His quips, his little song.
There ain't no strings on me.
I think the biggest problem with Ultron as a whole is, like, there's not...
There are no strings on me? I don't know, something like that, I'm sorry.
Is there's not enough of him.
No, there isn't.
Like, I feel like Ultron, you could flesh him out and do so much interesting shit. Like, there's a lot of good commentary and science fiction about AI. Mass Effect literally has a massive chapter on just a race of AI. And, like, you know, the Halo series constantly talks about AI stuff. You know, you have HAL, 2001: A Space Odyssey. And there's, like, all this good fiction about rampant AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this just, like, he's like, yep, he's a bad guy. Bad man. Bad robot man wants to make more bad robot men.
Well, not that. His goal is, like, bad robot man wants to end humanity, or a bad robot man wants to end the world.
By making more bad robot men.
I mean, just making more of him.
Yeah. More of me. More of himself. Who are bad robot men. So, yeah, like, it's very much just, like, especially because, like, if you've read the comics, or if you've, like, just seen any other version of Ultron,
you have just said to not go by the comics.
I know, but still, like, as an example...
Peter Quill would be a hard, grizzled man with no quips.
Okay, but fine. But, like, if, like, that's a case where it improved it. This is a case where, like, man, there's a lot of cool shit you could do with AI, and the argument of AI as people, or the argument of, like, man replacing humans with better artificial intelligence would arguably create peace. And just, like, all this different shit you can do with Ultron, none of it's explored. It's bad robot man wants to end the world. And I'm just like, you are as one, and, like, they have this amazing actor with this amazing voice behind it. Like, Ultron, every time Ultron talks, I'm like, man, you nail it.
Can you read my life story?
Yeah, bro, like, I want you to tell me a bedtime story.
Please, Uncle Ultron.
Yeah, like, and, like, that kind of kills me. Like, and then, like, this movie is a case of, like, ideas versus execution. And then, like, the exploring, and then also, like, fan service. And every time it's fan service, they nail it. All the fan service stuff in here is great.
Oh, yeah.
The Hulkbuster fight, great. The end scene where all of them together and the camera pans around, fucking awesome. When Nick Fury...
I was thinking of all of the accented powers of everybody. Like, everybody's strong suits, even if it's just close combat or shooting an arrow.
When Nick Fury brings back the helicarriers to get all to evacuate all the people. All of that, when Vision kills the last Ultron.
Yes.
Like, all of that stuff is super fucking awesome. It's just that, like, the finer points and all the depth is just not there.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
So, they make Vision, or Vision gets made, rather.
Yeah.
It's a part of, like, it's part of Tony, it's part of Banner, it's part of the Stone. What's that sound?
My pants.
Oh, okay.
Velcro pockets. Sorry.
Got you. Sorry, I heard a crinkling noise. It startled me.
Oh, my bad. Go on.
No, but it's like part of everybody, and it'll be able to, like, it started to explore AI in that, because they created something new and undefined, like, slightly undefined, and he's just like, I think I'm on your side. Like, actually, this is more complex than that. Because it's just like, whose side are you on? And he's just like, it's more complex than that. And he's, like, out from the get-go, he's trying to just figure out who he is, but also he knows the task at hand, so he has to really focus, which is why he's just, like, not talking much, because he has to figure out who he is, what to do in the situation, how, like, which side to be on, or rather what he stands for now, which is life, which super glad he chose life. And then he goes and he tries to, like, help execute the plan to take down Ultron, because he clearly is the symbol of death.
Right. And my problem with that is, like, there's just not enough of it. Like, that you could have had a...
I wish we could have a Vision movie or something.
Character
development or something.
I would have loved to have seen a separate movie that was just Vision versus Ultron. That could have been a really, like, deep philosophical movie.
Or just, like... Or even if we get a Vision Scarlet Witch movie, that would be nice, because when we saw in... Infinity War, we were super, I don't know about you, but I was super intrigued by, like, their premise, like, them trying to find themselves, like, she's trying to find who she is with her powers, and he's trying to find out who he is.
As a metal boy.
My metal boy!
Anyway, yeah, so, the Stan Lee cameo, lifting the hammer to dust.
I don't remember that. Oh, God.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
I'm so sorry.
Fill space. Fill time.
Okay, so something that I really like are definitely all of the powers that are revealed in this. What I don't like in the entire franchise is they do a couple of things with Scarlet Witch. They start having her have limited powers, and then they take away her accent, like, completely in 2 movies. And it's just like, I thought you were going to, like, hold on to your heritage and stuff. Like, what happened? We have no explanation for that. If it's just her getting used to, like, like, American languages, if she's adaptable, stuff like that, because we need, like, no backstory for that. No backstory as to why she thinks she can't use her powers when she's so badass in the first movie. And she clearly could use her powers by the end of the movie, even with her brother dying. Oh, and her brother dying is a thing too, which super freaking sucks, because once... okay, so there's, like, one more kid that needs to get on the helipad, or helicopter, sorry.
Yeah, the helicarrier.
Helicarrier, thank you. The helicarrier, and Hawkeye goes to sacrifice himself, and we've seen how fast Quicksilver can go. Okay? He could have literally stopped those bullets, or at least batted them out of the way.
Right.
To the point where he didn't need to die. He got all these bullets in his back while saving Hawkeye and the kid, and he's just like, bet you didn't see that coming. Because there's this ongoing joke between him and Hawkeye, because Hawkeye first doesn't see him, and then Hawkeye gets the jump on Quicksilver, and then Quicksilver gets the jump on Hawkeye in the end, because he dies. And it's just like, dude, like bad form. And in the words of the Lost Boys in Hook, bad form. Like,
oh god.
like, no, I legitimately, I am so sore over that because he could have not died in various ways. He could have gone in, swooped in and gotten them super quick. He could have batted away the bullets. He could have gotten behind the car as well. He could have done so many things, but instead they kill him off because he's kick-ass and he needs to do another kick-ass movie. And he didn't sign up for any other movies.
That's fine.
I did not like that. I liked his character. They're supposed to be a duo. They could have done so much with that character. Like, moving forward. They don't have another Quickster.
Yeah, but they can find one.
They don't have one so far. And what I'm saying, though, is it's just like, yeah, do you think that he was, like, too powerful? Because clearly, I mean, I wouldn't have minded, like, one bullet getting at him because it was a machine gun from a helicopter. Or what? Not a helicopter, but from a ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded that, but I just... It's just too much. It's too much to kill him off with. It frustrated me to no end. I can't accept it.
I don't know. Like, in the long term, I'm, like, kind of fine with it because we already have so many characters that, like, I look at, like, Infinity War, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, just adding another character to that list that you have to manage when we do a crossover is, like, a fucking nightmare.
They already have this many characters, and they add some. Okay, like, they combine so many storylines. There's only one reason why they killed off Quicksilver, and that is literally because they couldn't freaking keep him on for other movies.
Part of the reason Endgame, I'm very happy about it, is, like, we're going to see a massive purge. Like, we're going to lose Tony or Stark or both. Banner and Widow are probably going into deep retirement.
By the way, you said Tony or Stark.
Sorry. Tony or Cap are either going to be dead or retired, both, or one. And then Black Widow, Hawkeye, definitely going into retirement with Banner. Thor, I'm not fucking sure yet.
Well, he's a god.
Like, Thor is probably the only one where we're going to see consistently.
Okay, so Thor and Loki, both their contracts are up after Endgame.
Okay, yeah, like, Thor I could see, like, being come back way far in the future. And then, like, I honestly only see Tony as, like, cameos in Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I don't even think we're going to get that many movies after Endgame. I think we're going to get maybe like a couple more, but I don't know.
They've already confirmed a bunch.
I don't know how you can, I really don't know how you can go further than Endgame.
Well, Galactus, that's how.
Oh, that's true.
You know, Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Road to Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Like,
but no, we can't bring up the Silver Surfer without the Fantastic Four, and we don't have an adequate Fantastic Four remake.
Let's see.
At least not a consistent one, because they kind of ended it before they started it.
So, there's Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, Far From Home, Black Widow, and Guardians 3.
So that doesn't mean that Scarlett Johansson retires.
Okay, so she's still around.
And Hawkeye is his contract isn't up yet.
Yeah, he's actually supposed to turn into the new Ronin.
That's weird. What?
Not that kind of character. Ronin's a character from the comics.
Oh, okay.
So, like, he becomes super edgy Hawkeye.
Oh, I don't need that in my life. What does he do? Lose his wife and kids? Because that would be terrible.
Yeah, Thanos murders them both, they're part of the Snap. And, like, now he's just on a fucking murder spree.
Oh, okay.
That's what everyone's speculating. So this is the lineup going forward for Phase 4 after Endgame. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
Shang-Chi.
What's that even supposed to be about?
Some
we'll
magic martial artist. Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
Black Widow.
Okay.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That's cool. I mean, like, I can accept that. I don't know how they're gonna, like, top the second one or Endgame.
Oh, and the Eternals. They're also working on the Eternals.
Okay.
Okay,
well, anyway...
Oh, did I say Black Panther 2?
No, you didn't.
Black Panther 2. They're also working on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, there's plenty of stuff. And as you can see, out of the only characters that are probably going to be around then from this movie are maybe Tony, because,
he's daddy technology.
he's Spider-Man dad, and then Black Widow. That retirement, dead or retirement, out in space, retirement. Nick Fury's still around.
What do you think of Scarlet Witch, though?
Goes into hiding with Vision.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Just goes off the grid.
Yeah, they retire, essentially, as well.
Yeah, like, the only people I see active are Nick Fury, Tony, if he lives, and Black Widow.
Well, no, you're forgetting somebody.
Who?
Ant-Man.
Out of this list. Ant-Man, they're already setting up for Ant-Man 3 because of her kid. Like, she's already talking about being a hero, and that is the case. She becomes a hero in the comics. That's
awesome.
So,
But no, as it goes, like, we have this epic scene that once Quicksilver does die, like, she loses focus, but man, is that a whirlwind of like, sorrow and fury blasted out, decimating most of the remaining robots.
Exactly. There's that was a really cool scene.
But it does start dropping because she lost her focus, because she, like, couldn't defend the button.
Right.
Like, the drop button.
Right. And then you have to all the other Avengers come in and do their thing with a big camera pan
and they're all ready to die too.
Yeah.
Like, but they have a plan, but they're ready to die. They got most of the people off of there, and they decide to just blow up Sokovia.
Yeah. So they blow it up, do the thing with...
and that's how we lost so many people, because I was like, if we got everybody off the crater, like, if we got everybody off of the island, essentially, how did so many people die? And it was because of all the debris. But, I mean, you save the world by sacrificing some. You save like the greater by sacrificing the smaller.
Right, exactly.
And it's not like they even wanted to do that. It's not like that was really an option for them. It's just they were trying to not have the world destroyed.
Right, they were doing the rest. So I guess first off, the Stan Lee cameo is at the party. It's the other one I'm thinking of is actually a deleted scene.
Oh, okay.
So the real cameo from the movie is where a lot of Captain America's old war buddies are at the party. They're like,
they're
vets,
okay, yeah.
And they're like, it's just
I remember now, yeah.
And Stan Lee thinks he can outdrink Thor.
Yeah, well, no, he thinks that he can handle Thor's liquor. And Thor's liquor is of the gods. It's of Valhalla.
Yeah. And Stan Lee has to be walked home.
Yeah. Excelsior.
Oh. That was 5 out of 5 cameo.
5 out of 5 would 5 out of 5 again.
Yeah. Excelsior. And then the other Stan Lee cameo that didn't make it in the deleted scenes is he's dusting. He's a janitor. After the party, he's dusting, and he picks up the hammer, dusts under it, then puts it down.
That would have been so cool. Stanley is Stanley is worthy of everything.
So yeah, I think it is a good movie, but I think it's a bit of a mess.
It's hard to remember everything. It's hard to... Okay, I'll admit it. It's hard to piece together everything when remembering the whole movie. But it does well for what it's given.
I was entertained the entire time. Like, this is very much a case of flawed but good, which is why I'm going to give it a 3.
I mean, they talked about all the characters that didn't make it in.
Yeah, like...
So that's nice, at least.
Yeah, like, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I love the Hulkbuster fight. I love all the action scenes.
I thought you were going to give it a 2 because you really weren't liking it through the movie. You were just like, there's just so much, man.
Well, because I did like a lot of the fan service stuff, and what's good is really good. Yeah. It's just there's not enough of that to make me love it, and I think it's a good movie. It's very much it's kind of like how I felt about Thor 1, which I gave a 3, or where I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. I don't love it, but I enjoyed it.
I would say this is definitely above Thor 1. for me.
Well, Thor 1's another 3 for me. Like, same thing with Iron Man 2, where I'm just like, this is really good. I liked it. I had a great time.
I feel like this was higher than Iron Man 2.
Well, we disagree. So what are you gonna do?
It's 3 out of 5, but it's the best 3 out of those 3.
It's the best 3 out of 5 out of the 3 out of 5.
Yes.
Like
out of the 3 out of 5.
Yeah, like I think you gave Winter Soldier a 3. Which
Winter Soldier I gave a 4.
Right.
You gave a 5.
Right. No, I gave it a 4. You gave it a 5. Oh no, you gave it a 3. I gave it a 4.
Okay, that's what happened.
Yeah, because I was one above and I didn't give it a 5 because I know the 3 movies I've given 5s to.
Which are
Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yep.
Iron Man 3.
Okay.
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. I think I gave the Avengers a 5.
Yeah, you did. I remember us having that discussion.
So my 3 are Iron Man, the Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy was the only one that we agreed on so far.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fine with me. We agreed on this one, but mine's a higher 3 than yours.
Like if clearly, there is such a thing.
No. Like, I wish I could give it a 4, but because of the fact that I'm not gonna lie, guys, he had to remind me of a couple of things before getting into this review. Not just because it's been, 2 weeks since we watched the movie, which a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. I work 12-hour days, so...
I work 10s. So.
Yeah, so those are very long weeks for us. Oh. But bottom line is, there is a lot to remember, and honestly, I forgot the Nick Fury cameo a couple of times over the last 2 weeks. I forgot about Ultron's origin, stuff like that. And it has to also do with the pacing. So I understand that some of the pacing is bad. A lot of it in the fight scenes is good, though. I like the fight scene pacing. That's always nice. But the story was a little choppy.
The best way I would describe this movie, and this is the way I described it to Nicole when I was talking to her about it, because she loves it.
His girlfriend.
It's... Thank you. Are you 12?
No, 13, actually.
Okay. Anyway, so I was talking with her about it because this is one of her favorites.
Yeah.
And this is what I said. It's a great popcorn movie. It is a fun watch. There's a lot of good action scenes. There's a lot going on. But when you sit and you think on it,
oh yeah,
and you dissect it,
you can sit and enjoy it and come out happy. But if you sit and dissect it, then you're just like, oh god, maybe it wasn't as great.
It just falls apart. Yeah, it just which was my problem with it because now here's the thing.
It's like when I make French toast sometimes. Okay. The smell is there. The look is there. The minute you dip into it, and this is when I make a bad batch. This is the 10th batch that I make. 9 out of 10 times, I'm pretty good at breakfast. So I'm sorry. They need premise.
No, go ahead.
So the aroma's there. The look is there. But the minute you start trying to dig into it, it falls apart.
Right.
Because you added too much milk or too much of, or not enough egg or what have you. So, I mean, this is like bad French toast.
Right.
It's good French, it's good because you remember the flavor, but it's bad when you remember it just falls apart.
Because, here's the thing. I'm not a movie critic by trade. I have way more experience reviewing games and, honestly, technology than I do movies. But I did go to college for English, and I took a lot of writing classes, and I know about, how to write well. And when you go and dissect this movie, and then you also go look into the film aspects of it, even as someone who's a very novice film critic, you can kind of see where it falls apart. It's a fun movie. It's a fun-ass time. I highly recommend it. It's just that when you start to take it apart, it just kind of falls. Just it's kind of like the way I put it is it's just like
bad French toast.
It's like all this stuff held up by these 2 support beams, and if those just get yanked away, just
or even 1 support beam.
Yeah, it's like Jenga. Just You know. That said, so we're both giving it a 3 out of 5.
Mine's a good 3, and his is a bad 3.
Mine is just a normal 3, because I enjoyed it. I'm going to rewatch this movie.
I wish I could give it a 4, but I don't have, like, dissecting it, I have to be critical. And critically speaking, it's a 3.
And that's how I felt about the first Avengers. Like, the first Avengers, I wanted to give it a 5 so bad, but I ended up giving it a 4.
I gave it a 5 because it still held up for me.
So, next week we got one of my personal favorites. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Oh, God.
We got the Ant-Man!
Oh, my God!
You get to hear me talk about Ant-Man all week.
Oh, my God. No. Oh, goodness, honey.
Why am I the only person who's this crazy about Ant-Man?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm one of the only people that's like super crazy about Scarlet Witch, but
that one I understand just from the fact that she's like she hasn't had her own movie yet. Like so it's really hard for people to like dig into her, but like I am the only person I know who's just been like fucking Ant-Man.
I don't get as hype as you, but I definitely like the movies. So we'll see if you can contain yourself.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I haven't watched that movie in a while, because Ivy and I were supposed to watch it, but got sidetracked because someone drove through my fence.
Oh yeah, that was that one day.
Yeah, that was a fun day. Like woke up like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grab coffee and watch a movie with a friend. Never mind, I'm dealing with cops.
Right.
She comes over, we're going to watch 30 minutes of the Ant-Man while I deal with cops.
Right? Like, you watch the movie, I'll deal with cops. Sorry you're not just doing this at home.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we'll be back next week with Ant-Man. This is a 3 out of 5 Stan Lee cameo.
Coincidentally, lots of cops in the movie. And breaking into things.
Well, fair enough. I've done my fair share
and
of that.
vehicles and fences. So I mean, this is a good segue, buddy.
Also, it's the end of Phase 2.
Yes.
So I'm going to explain something real quick for those of you who didn't get to the end of Phase 1 with us. At the end of a phase, we rank all the movies from our favorite to our least favorite, or least favorite to our favorite, and then we go into Phase 3, telling you our favorites out of all of Phase 1 and Phase 2. And then at the end of Endgame, we're going to rank all 22 movies.
Oh, goodness.
Yep. I can already tell you what's at the bottom.
Hulk.
Yep. So you have your bottom.
Bottom 2, actually, because what's 2?
Thor Dark World.
Yep.
Yeah, from there, and the thing is, I'm very curious to see how our lists are going to be different. Because like Brandon and I on Phase 1 only had one difference.
Okay.
His number 2.
You haven't seen my Phase 1 yet, so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to see all your Phase 1, and then we're both gonna see each other's Phase 2s, and then after Endgame we'll get to see our Phase 3s and our total ranking, and then we're done.
Yeah.
So anyway, bye y'all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening.